always talk about absent dads, but we don't talk about toxic mothers. Do you see what I'm saying?
Is the disconnect with these types of students that you see?
Nobody listens to them. Nobody separates the trauma from the child. You don't know where they're coming from. They're coming from abuse. They're coming from food insecurity. They're coming from mothers who just cuss them out. You know how we just say, good morning, how are you? You want get your fucking ass up. Get just like your dad. You're never going to be anything. So when you start programming the child's mind like that, by the time they come to school, I'm still processing everything that my mom said to me. How can I focus like in math when I don't even feel good about myself? You get into school, take your hood off, do this. How about, hey, did you eat today? Are you okay? You need a hug? I don't think people do it on purpose, and I don't think parents do it on purpose, but I think that's how they were raised. You know what I mean? And so it's like, well, I turned out okay. No, you didn't. You messed up. And like I said, I'm in therapy. I mean, because of the stuff that I went through. It's like when I come in, I create that safe place for them. I build relationships with them. It's not all about academics. It's about how are you doing? Are you okay? Did you eat today?
We are live in effect on YouTube. Everybody, if you're on Instagram, please go to YouTube so that you can get the full experience of the room and you can actually enjoy the situation over here. So now,
Introduce myself.
no, you're supposed to do the.
That's right. That's right. You know what? I listened very well. You gave me instructions a long time ago, so I was like, I'm trying to grab everything together. You know what I'm saying?
As the word says in Proverbs 4:7, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And all you're getting, get understanding. Welcome to Logic Over Emotions. My name is Toya V. I am your host. And I have the man of the hour that is amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. What's your name?
Dre.
Yes, Dre. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like I should put something behind that because it's like Dr. Dre, Dr. Dre, Ed Lover. I think I should be like Dre Lee.
I was thinking about that.
Dre Lee, that's my middle name. So Dre Lee that could be my new Dre Lee. I'm Dre Lee.
So go ahead. Some of you on YouTube already know what the topic is. We're gonna go ahead and play the topic. Oh, okay. Forgot. I gotta have my AirPod in, y'all.
We always talk about absent dads, but we don't talk about toxic mothers. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's the disconnect with these types of students that you see.
Nobody listens to them. Nobody separates the trauma from the child. You don't know where they're coming from. They're coming from abuse. They're coming from food insecurity. They're coming from mothers who just cuss them out. You know how we just say, good morning, how are you? You want get your fucking ass up. Get just like your dad. You're never going to be anything. So when you start programming the child's mind like that, by the time they come to school, I'm still processing everything that my mom said to me. How can I focus like in math when I don't even feel good about myself? You get into school, take your hood off, do this. How about, hey, did you today? Are you okay? You need a hug? 'Cause I don't think people do it on purpose, and I don't think parents do it on purpose, but I think that's how they were raised. You know what I mean? And so it's like, well, I turned out okay. No, you didn't. You messed up. And like I said, I'm in therapy. I mean, because of the stuff that I went through. It's like when I come in, I create that safe place for them. I build relationships with them. It's not all about academics. It's about how you doing. Are you okay? Did you eat today? I even wash clothes at school. People don't do that. Like, I give my kids like duffel bags and they just roll up to my office and I'll go wash their clothes and fold it and send it back home because I want them to show up at their best self. As an educator, I don't even just look as an educator. I'm a life changer. That's how I look at it.
Yes, Miss Gray Dimples. Thank you for hitting us up on Instagram. Thank you for reposting the post. I appreciate you. Now, what made you pick this topic? Out of all the topics I sent to you, what made you pick this?
A number of things. Like if you really listen to like the temperature of the world right now, you hear about deadbeat dads all day, every day. And if I say he a deadbeat. You don't got to even know the person. You just go immediately like respond to it, right?
Mhm.
Throughout my life, my grandmother I got 21 aunties and uncles. So with 21 aunties and uncles, you can imagine how much I've seen, right? And I realized, yes, there very much so some deadbeat men out there, but it's also some deadbeat women. But I personally feel like it's like look past, it's like deflected. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
if even down to a relationship, if we in a relationship and it goes sour or something go wrong, and I say, they say y'all messed, we fell apart. First thing people say, what he do?
What he do?
What he do? It's like, what did he do? What if he was just sitting at home and you woke up and said you ain't want to be with him no more, and now we not together? But you know, so I just feel like I think I like to be the voice for it. I think I'm like the real voice for a lot of men. A lot of men mask themselves and they say what's politically correct, but I'm gonna say what.
So what? Just one day you just woke up and was like, "I'm gonna be the voice for men."
Nah, I've been like this all my life. Like I was raised by a single mom. I left the house at 15. She moved here
To
from
Atlanta from
from
Detroit.
Detroit when I was 13. I moved back to Detroit when I was 15. So I kind of like raised myself,
Was your
but
dad in Detroit?
um, yeah. Yeah, at the time, but then he moved. Typical dads. See, that's another
Yeah.
scenario where it's like typical dad. But as I grew older, right, and
Mhm.
I became a man, I start understanding kind of like what it was like dealing with my mom.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just being real. But when I would say that, everybody like, but that's your mama. You don't say that. Like, but my mama really can be a handful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine if I left at 15. My dad might have been experiencing some of the stuff that I experienced. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you think that shaped you as a man?
Mm, in some areas, it made me insensitive
Mhm.
to women. Other areas, it taught me survival because mom wasn't there. Well, I shouldn't say she wasn't there. She wasn't physically there, right? I was in a whole nother state and my dad wasn't there. So it taught me how to be a man on my own, you know? It really learned how to, it taught me survival. Yeah.
Or did the streets raise you?
Huh?
Or did the streets raise you?
I would say life raised me. You know what I'm saying?
Which
Because
we would consider the streets,
but
right?
everything didn't come from the streets though. Like
Mhm.
I went to a great high school.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? The best high school in Michigan, if you ask me, like for real. But on the weekends, I was in the streets. I ain't gonna lie, but it's just like I was more comfortable in the streets, but I understood where I was, and that just wasn't for me, and that traveled with me through life as well. Like I don't do the corporate America thing. I did it for 10 years. I didn't like it. I've been in business for 17 years, so it just you learn. You learn as you go. That's part of survival.
Mhm. So how do you when we talk about toxic mothers, right?
Hmm.
Do you feel like you see that more than the nurturing mom that people, or do you think it's just a small like percentage of mothers, or have you seen, because the temperature in 2026 is different back in
Absolutely,
1980s when we were raised, you know what I'm
absolutely,
saying? So because as a single father, do you see more toxic women
absolutely.
mothers?
Especially growing up, like I said, my dad's mother had 16 kids. My mother's mother had 7. So I was raised like the women in my life, it ranged. You know what I'm saying? I saw
Hmm.
the highs, the lows, and in between. But nowadays, I see a lot of trauma raising a lot of traumatic situations. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So if you got a traumatic situation and both parents come from trauma, what do you expect to come out of it? There are diamonds in the rough, but I see more of that now. Yes, to answer your question, I see more women who I can talk to them, and in the midst of a conversation, say a phrase or a word, and they instantly, well, they get real hostile. And it's like, I just asked a question,
Right.
and that how you respond typically reflects more than what you say. when you talk to certain people. So what I mean by that is if you ask me a question and you say, how was your day? Well, I can't stand the people, and I start going off. I'm probably mad. But then
Mm-hmm.
I turn around and say, but I'm cool. It's like, you're not cool. You just went off. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I see a lot of that now. You know, they say, I don't need a man. I'm fine. I'm cool. I can handle this. But then my baby daddy, he ain't, It's like, why you going off? Relax. Just tell me you cool. If you cool, be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if you triggered, you're not cool typically, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Because I feel like when people sit here and they get triggered by things, it's an unhealed situation,
absolutely.
right? And wherever that trauma comes from, that's kind of like the age that they act.
Typically,
So
I agree.
a lot of times, a lot of people have not matured. We're, and that like call it one guy calls it a grown girl and a grown boy.
Yeah, I can
They're
agree.
not men or they're not women yet. They're still dealing with a lot of problems that they need to filter through. So a lot of times when you see women and men act up, it's like, oh, okay, there's a trauma there that they did not, dealt with. So now I'm seeing their maturity as they're dealing with this certain situation.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Like, when it comes to trauma, when you say they dealt with it
Or they didn't deal with it.
or didn't deal with it, how do you deal with trauma? Because everybody deals with it different.
Mm-hmm.
Is my it wasn't a rhetorical question. I do want to know, but I want you to understand what I'm saying. So
Mm-hmm.
if you say, for instance, a lot of people say like, "Oh, I'm in therapy," so the trauma's dealt with. Therapy is only good if you actually really apply it. Like
Right.
if I'm a narcissist and I go to therapy, I can listen to everything a therapist says and apply it to feed my narcissism,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's really not effective. I'm just using what he said to get what I want out of you.
Mm-hmm.
I think more people do that than actually become healed from therapy. So it's the same in what you asked. Do I see more women and men that are healed with their past traumas? No. Do they know how to cope with it? Yeah, it's easy because if I'm a woman and I'm distraught or hurt by men, it's easy for me to say, I don't need a man. I don't need you. Yeah, you don't need me, but your attitude is telling me that there's something else. You know, if I didn't do anything to you, why are you emphasizing that you don't need me? I think that's a little toxic.
So too, but I feel like when you're talking about like how do you heal for trauma, you actually go through the motion, you go through the feelings of the trauma, right? So we'll say, something that happened as I was a child and it's brought up. I have to basically, as the person that's observating or observing all of the, I guess, all of like the kids inside of me, right? All the
Mhm.
kids that show up and that they come talk when it's time to come talk, so say for instance, I got beat up at school and I told my parents and they did not come and protect me. So right now I feel like no one's going to protect me because the people that I love didn't want to protect me, you know what I'm saying? So dealing with those traumas would be one of the things, would be sitting there and actually talking about how I felt in that moment and actually going through it. Or two, if my parents are still alive, actually going to them and saying, listen, when this happened, this hurt. You see what I'm saying? And you can come to two situations. You can, if your parents mature, they can apologize. You know what I'm saying? Which causes some people to have closure, and it helps them heal that way. Or if they be like, well, what, that's not my problem, you know what I'm saying? Then it goes into a state of mind of forgiveness, you know what I'm saying, where you have to be like, you know what, you don't got to give me apology. I forgive you, and now I'm gonna wash my hands of the situation. You see what I'm saying? And so the next time I have to find a person that I trust. And if something's not right, not that I got to get beaten up or something where I feel like I'm not protected, I'll come to you and basically you'll be like, I'll protect you. And now I just healed from a child trauma because now I know how it feels for someone to step up for me. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, but I think because as humans, we all individuals, it's hard to say what would work, right?
Hmm.
Because for
Well,
me,
that's the journey.
yeah, it's the
You know what I'm
journey. Like,
saying?
but for me growing up in the 80s, oh, damn, I just told, excuse me, I just told my age.
Why
But
you can't tell? You're not a girl or
yeah,
woman.
no, but I want to be like, some people say I look 30, so I like to stay there.
Okay. You
Anyway,
could
I'm
you could
just,
be, but no, but I'm saying if you're born in 92, you're still
yeah, I was
30.
born in that. Dad,
You're
thank you.
33. You know
There
what I'm
you
saying?
go. See, I ain't gonna do
Period.
that. I ain't gonna do that, but nah. So it's like growing up where I grew up, you know what I'm saying, in Detroit, that mindset of my parents apologizing is practically unheard of. I'm just being real. Like
Hmm.
I never to this day, at my age, I don't expect my mama or daddy to apologize for nothing because I never heard it. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like I never heard my mother come to me and say I was wrong for that. What I have heard was, but you did this and you did that. So it's like, yeah, but you like you see what I'm
You're
saying?
the
It's
older person.
yeah, not even an older person. Take some accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're wrong, you're wrong. And the same with my father. Like he was not a guide. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a. And again, it's not me bashing him or neither one of them, if I'm being honest, was effective listeners.
Right.
Neither one of them were like great role models, but they, you know, to the topic of the discussion, if I say my mother wasn't a good role model, everybody would jump and say, "But that's your mama. You don't say that." And I'm like, do y'all know how she is for real? Like behind closed doors, if I try to talk to her, like they don't, or if they do, they mask it to protect her. But my father, like, oh, he ain't, and they'll just say he ain't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, kind of like in my world, what I'm dealing with now, with my daughter, it's like I remember feeling like, I remember feeling a lot of feelings, but one of the main ones was like, I'm raising my daughter with an enemy. You know what I'm saying? At the time. Yeah, no, seriously. Like she
Hold on, where
did
my button at? Where my button?
like she did some things that nobody else know about, right?
Hmm.
But to me, if she wasn't the mother of my child, I would look at you like an enemy. Not like I don't like my baby mama. No. That's some stuff my enemy would do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But,
But
you
do you
know,
feel like you think she does it because she's hurt? Because she wants y'all to be together?
see, right there when you said why she do it, nobody asked why my dad left. Nobody asks why a man don't be at the house while a man is gone. They don't care about that. They just quick to say he gone. He's
Mm.
wrong. But if I say she did something, it's let's get to why she did it. Why is it a therapy session when she did something, but if a guy do something, it's like he guilty. And that's the problem with black men in America. As a black man, I'm just all around guilty. I'm guilty to the white man. I'm guilty to the black man. I'm guilty to my brother. I'm guilty to my sister. I'm always guilty. So at what point, you know, um, if we all throw paper at the teacher when she turned her back, but the teacher always blamed me, at what point do I stand up and say, teacher, watch this, and tell on everybody else,
Right.
right?
Right.
So in this case, it's like, I know these women ain't really who they not how they portray themselves. Not all of them, but a mass majority of the victims that we see are really not victims. That's just, how I feel. No, not how I feel, what I know.
What you know?
What I know.
What you know?
Yeah.
So when you sit back and you so you don't care why the mother of your child does certain things?
Um, I wouldn't say I cared at one point, but I think part of what we went through, it was her feelings. And like the show is called Logic Over Emotions, right?
Hmm.
So men are logical and typically women are emotional, right? But we live in a society that tries to tell you that the tables are turned and now women are more logical. Well, in reality, you can't fight nature. So if you're being emotional, but you look at me in the face and saying, no, this is how I really feel. At some point, I'm just going to believe you. All right, well, this is how you feel. Well, how you feel, this is how I would treat my enemy versus somebody who I'm supposed to be cohesive with. So why? Nah, because I don't get a why. You know, nobody called me and asked me why did I leave, or they asked me why we didn't work together, or why things didn't work out. It was just, it is what it is. So if you want to play the even realm and this equality,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna get asked why. So why would I care why she did something?
You don't want to break the cycle
Breaking the cycle would be,
or breaking the pattern.
well, I don't think that would be breaking the pattern.
Why
Because I,
wouldn't it?
because I feel like women have always been asked why. They've always been catered to. Breaking the cycle would be standing my ground and saying that I have a position in this situation. And if you want to believe her, you're welcome to. But that's not my reality. I'm just not going to prove myself. I'm not going to explain myself to nobody. I mean, it's not even like, I don't want to come off, rude, but just,
You're speaking your truth,
yeah,
and like my and I guess where I sit at, I always try to understand like how people think about certain things, because like if and like you said, because she's a woman, people ask why. I also ask men, well, why did you do this? And a lot of times because she did this. And I'd be like, okay, if she what did you do for her? Because what did you do for her to act that way? Right. And the reason why I say that is because women, we react. Emotions react.
mhm,
Do you see what I'm saying? Logic,
absolutely.
logic takes a second, and it sits there and it analyzes everything before it moves, right?
Mhm,
So, say for instance, maybe we'll say I'm just like we're together and you went and you was flirting with some girl, and I'm an insecure person, right? Which I'm not, but I'm just saying I'm an insecure person. And I'm like, but I don't say anything, right? And then you come back and then you're like, well, why you acting stank? Nothing, nothing. And that's a maturity thing where women have to speak up, where that could have been. So now she's got this attitude towards you and you don't even notice. You
That's
see what I'm saying?
crazy.
It,
That's one of our, like that I call that passive aggressive.
mm-hmm,
I hate it.
mm-hmm,
That's a harsh word, but I hate it. Like, don't stomp around the house with an attitude at 35 years old because of something that I don't even know I did.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now you mad and now you messing my energy up because you mad about something I don't even know I did. Now I'm mad at you. I
Mm-hmm,
don't want to know why. I don't want to know why. I just want to get away from you because it's childish and I'm too old for it. You see what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
I think more men deal with that, but see, we taught to suffer in silence.
mm,
So a man typically is gonna be quiet, chalk it up and say, "I'm being a man," because nah, you messing up your peace as a king. A king don't need to be disturbed about minor emotions, because guess what? Y'all got emotions every day, and they change. So now my world got to get disrupted because you have an emotional change about something. I don't want to live in that type of slavery, personally.
oh, so that's modern day slavery to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think a lot of men live quietly in slavery, especially married men. I know a lot of men. I mean, I ain't gonna say no names because I got a habit of doing that.
Mm-hmm,
I'm an open book. But I got friends, family, men in my life, several of them. I can name a lot of them that be married and they go out in the world and I love my wife. They take the pictures, they wear the look, they smile, and then you go have a cigar with them on a golf course and they got a whole nother conversation. And you
mm,
like, wait, but you was just smiling and you told me you love her. And I just can't live I'm not like that. I'm not if I'm not happy, I'm gonna live that out loud too. So
you don't live that. If you're unhappy, you don't live that out loud
absolutely.
too.
So but I think that's fair to a woman, right? I'm telling you I'm not happy. I'm giving you the opportunity to adjust it as well. Everything is
Mm-hmm.
not it's not a one-way street. So if I'm telling you, listen, this ain't working out for me, and you take it like whatever, he a man, That's cool.
What does whatever he a man mean?
You gotta ask the wrong person.
But what do you think that it means?
Typically, I feel like I said, men suffer in silence. So when you get comfortable with somebody suffering in silence on behalf of what you're going through, I feel like some people take advantage of that. And it becomes all right, it's cool. He'll deal with it. He a man.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. But how I deal with I deal with it, I'm gonna be verbal and give you a chance.
Right.
A lot of men go find that other woman that's doing what you're not doing,
Right.
and then they come home and now you shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I come home, at least I told you.
Well, I told you I was going
Hey, I even say cheating, not cheating, because I told you.
Jesus, the word.
No, but I told you, like,
Well, I
if I
told you.
check, like, look, sweetheart, I like this, and you say I'm gonna do that. It's like, no, but I like this, and you're doing that, and it's like, all right, well, cool. Well, she do that,
Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
but what, like, that's what I'm saying. If the problem is, like, even I see a lot of older men, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said I wasn't gonna say this, but it's like the Steve Harvey effect.
Mm-hmm.
You got this man who write a book, think like a man, act like a woman. 100 million copies sold.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody did research to find out if he did that to his ex-wife.
Right.
When on her side of the story, she has told people, yes, he did this, he did that. And so now it's like, okay, well, he already sold the copies. The money made. Me, I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Oh,
This is what
we
I
got a
did.
caller.
Oh, here we go.
This is Coach Cotton. Hey, Coach Cotton, how you doing?
Hi, Toya B. Hi, Dre. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Oh, it's good. This is a really, really good conversation. And I just wanted to call in to just give my perspective on the topic of the mothers with Dre. And I was listening to you, Dre, and it's really, really good information that you're sharing. And my question is, when you were talking about how passive aggressiveness of your child's mom, in the scenario I guess that Toya B had gave, she was like, if you were flirting and then she gets upset, don't say nothing, yada yada yada. So then she then projects that on you because she's never communicated that to you. How do you know if the communication isn't effective, that those emotions that she's now displaying towards you, it's not related to something that really has nothing to do with you, but it could be stemming from a deeper rooted trauma, and now that's been projected on you? Because what I hear in that scenario is the underlying challenge, which is the communication part. And so, like, I started to laugh a little bit about what you said when you were like, well, now I gave you the opportunity to say something you didn't, now I'm not saying up to you. And it's like, do you feel that approach is helpful towards the relationship, or does that cause more harm and non-effective communication on both parts? I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on that.
A great question. The short answer is no. It's not per se effective in a positive way for everybody. But my personal experiences, I own a few businesses. I'm a very busy man, and most of the time, men, our minds are on provisioning and protecting and things like that. So when there is an emotional topic or feeling that we're dealing with, because you are going through it right now, doesn't mean it's a priority in my life. Not saying that you're not a priority. It's saying that if I got $10,000 in bills that I got to figure out right now, and you're mad about me smiling at somebody at a cafe yesterday, I'm really not in a place to give my attention to that. And back to what Toya said earlier, from my upbringing with my grandmother, my aunties, and such, they were more understanding. It seems like they understood. Don't bother him with our emotions right now. He'll get to it when it's time. I feel like nowadays it's a little more aggressiveness, and I need to know this right now, and right now might not be the time for me. And that's okay, if it's not the time for me or you, but just at some point, back to even the title of the conversation is logic over emotion. Logic is you feel that way right now. Is that really how I treat you? You know what I mean? Like, am I really dismissive towards you? But if I'm taking care of you, give me a minute to deal with what I got to deal with. Right now is not the time to talk about how I made you feel at a restaurant last week. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Logically, like not that I don't care. I don't have time right now. I got real stuff on the table. And I feel like as men, we get distracted so much because society, especially nowadays, society is a very female driven society in the United States, whereas like a woman's emotions is like at the front of, the priority. In reality, it's like, how do you be a man and give the attention to what you have to give attention to, but yet you're still consistently like dealing with her emotions that sometimes not even real. I've been several times with somebody like they feel some kind of way, and then you say, "Oh no, that wasn't this; it was that."
Mm-hmm.
That simple word, they're like, "Oh, okay, what's it?" That Tim, excuse me, I didn't mean to
Okay.
say that. It's it's like with that little 10 minutes, I could have been figuring out how to make $10,000 more, but because you felt that way, you want to take my attention off of this. I personally, I just think that's less effective from a man's perspective.
Okay, so what happens if it's your daughter and she has an issue?
But and here's the issue when we talked about the other day when I told you about the Willie Lynch theory,
Mm-hmm.
right? When we take it back there, and I don't want to go too deep, but if you research the Willie Lynch theory, this is all by design,
Mm-hmm.
right? The average black family does not even know how to raise a family in love. We're raised in survival. So when you ask the question about my daughter, that's something that her mother should be explaining to her. But if her mother is in survival mode also, who has time for the child? Right?
Quick question to what you said. Thank you so much, Ray, too, for sharing and answering that question for me. You said too, and I totally understand about the distractions that come with men or people in general, but specifically we're talking about the man, how you can't really address her emotions during that moment because now you doing that could take the attention off of something that may take more priority, which we all get that in life. If I could offer any suggestion or recommendation, what would you say to another man if in that moment it takes about 30 seconds to say, hear you, I can't address this right now, and see what type of response you receive from her? Because sometimes I find that even in the hustle and bustle when we're doing things and we're very busy, that just a quick 30-second, hey, I hear you. And I'm not dismissing you, but right now it's not the time. And I call it a TPA. I'm a big acronym person, Dre, once you get to know me. And it's saying for time, place, audience. So, we can't get into this because this may be a bigger conversation. And I just don't have the time to do that. But we'll hear you and let's revisit this a little bit later. Sometimes I found that can kind of reduce the frustrations and helps to bring in that effective communication. And I 100% agree with you. A lot of families don't know how to raise families and children because we have been living in a survival mode for so long, and we don't know how to operate in that presence or that mindfulness. But thank you so much. This is a very, very good conversation that is important to our culture right now.
Absolutely. No, that's a good point. And that works and it sounds good, like to be able to say, hey, baby, this is not the right time, and had a right response. Essentially, that sounds like the picture perfect response, right? But that also it's like I'm a firearm instructor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same scenario when I teach people how to use firearms. It's like right now it looks good to be able to have a gun on your hip one in the chamber ready to go, right? But in reality, you
Right.
never know when the opposing force is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So in that moment, if there's an interaction, I got to do what I know best. That's pull a gun out and shoot.
Right.
Not look at this, not hear that. I got sirens going. I got all kind of different factors going on. You can't expect a man to be perfect in every scenario. So it
Right.
does take, if there's a partnership, right? Think about if you go to work, right? And your boss has a deadline. The same boss that you go to lunch with every day, he cool, he calm, collective, he talk to you with the right tone, all that. And that one day come where his boss is coming down on him, you can't expect him to be that same cool, calm, and collective person. You understand? Like my boss is calling me now. And and it could be something that's detrimental. So I may not say, hey baby, I might say, hey, just go do that. Just run and grab that. But like I was telling you the other day, right? I believe men say what we think and not what we feel. And I think women say what they feel and not what they think so much. There's always a
Mm-hmm.
exception, but for the most part. So if we have that miscommunication just naturally because of nature, what would be the expectations? What expectations are, what proceeds? Do I expect you to understand, or should you expect me to communicate a certain way?
Well, Coach Cotton, do you have anything to say? Cause you good? Hello?
Questions. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Right. It's the ways that late statements you made, Dre.
Yeah.
Do she expect for you to understand, or I can't remember exactly how you said, but
The vice versa.
to understand, or the expectation from his standpoint. And it's both ways. I honestly feel like it takes both of the people to have both of those, what you just said. One has to understand, and one has to understand the nature of the expectation, like in the example you used with a firearm, because the situation is always not conducive for the correct response. And I totally get that, and I agree with it. But however, as we work toward that improvement, in those spaces or in the not so intense and extreme moments is when those conversations can happen. My mom always used to tell me, you approach something in the cool of the day. When it's calm and it's cool, and then definitely bring it up. We don't bring up the challenges in the heat of the moment, because at that point, emotions are running high and people are charged, and there's just things to be done and to get done. So again, I thank you so much, Dre. This conversation is really needed, and I appreciate you for being on Logical Emotions. And thank you, Soybe.
All right. Bye, Coach Cotton.
She was raised in
Bye.
the 80s and 90s, for sure.
She's an 80 baby. That's my best friend. But that's also to give her a shout out. She is also a personal development coach / life coach / psychiatrist. Not psychiatrist, but psychologist. Thank you. So you can, if you want to talk to her, you can do R3. Go ahead, and I believe it's renew, restore, repurpose. It's in pink with the locust flower. You can go on logicaloveremotionspod.com/resources, and you can contact her there in case you just want to get to know a little bit more about her and you like some of her some of the perspectives that she has been given. Mr. Auto Spa Atlanta says it never takes only 30 seconds. The emotions become priority, and those statements still sound dismissive to an emotional woman, which becomes an entirely new issue she'll have to address.
I
She'll
agree.
address.
I agree with him, and that's kind of what I was saying. So a lot of men silence themselves because, for instance, if I'm, how do I say this? If we having a debate about something, and I know I got something bigger on the plate, I know if I say what I'm really feeling, you're gonna take that, and it sounds good to say, oh, we'll talk about it later. Nah, because as soon as I say that, it's like, but this, but that, but that. Now we talking 30 minutes, 40 minutes to an hour about something that I really know the answer to, but I know if I say it, it's gonna draw it out. I don't want it, like, and I think a lot of that comes to, again, back to what I said, it's the Willie Lynch theory. It's like if I was a puppet master and I could figure out how to divide a man and a woman, and once I master it, I just keep feeding it. I feed it with social media. I feed it with music. I feed it with liquor. I
Mhm.
feed it with hypersexual, imagery, all this thing, and we so caught in it. And then you notice I said we because I'm still human, but we so caught into it. It's like we don't even realize when it's being worked on us. So I agree with what he said. Like we got to be careful as men because, again, if I got a $10,000 problem, your 10-minute problem is not. As I get older, I get a little more dismissive.
Okay. Well, I kind of look at, okay, so after listening to both of y'all, okay,
Deep breath,
yes. Because
regroup.
I kind of, no, because I kind of understand where you're coming from, but then I also just realized that you haven't met a woman that has emotional awareness. Because if a woman,
Just not my woman.
where my buttons? Where my other buttons?
I got some great women in my life, no lie.
Right,
It was one yesterday.
right,
All right. I got great women in my life,
right. You
but they
do.
take her.
Right.
And I don't hate them. I don't got no problem. But that's not who I got right now.
Right. Well, like I said, back to what I was saying. You don't have one as your woman. So it's still
There we go.
my thing is still valid. My statement is still valid.
That's fine.
And I feel like if that was the case, I really think that a lot of times men speak off of, I just wish, how can I say? I'm starting to realize as I'm in the dating pool, is men have never been really loved.
A lot of us haven't.
Haven't been really loved or questioned that. Like one of my exes, right? I wanted to give him a massage and he was tensed up like, why do you want to do that for me? And I'm just like, what? And then I started to realize, like, oh, so you never had a girl just offer you a massage before. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, okay, I'm starting to pay attention to what's coming out, and the fact that there's this platform, I'm starting to understand, it's hard to understand, but I'm out here trying to understand because I want my relationship to be magnificent. You know what I'm saying? Because I do have that ear to like listen. But my goal is to get other women to get to a place where I'm at so that those relationships can be more solid, because I really do believe in the in Black love, in that nuclear family. And I do believe that the communication between Black men and Black women needs to be fixed first in order for something to grow. Because if I'm able to use my words and you're able to use your words, we're going to come to a understanding where we can move together. Because I remember Sincere, he said, he came on here, what's up Sincere, he said
I know Sincere.
Oh, you do? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
what's good with it?
you do.
Yeah, my dog, Sincere. That's my man.
He said, one thing he said was, check out his Honeymooning Forever, y'all married people. But he says that him and his wife have a mission statement. And I was just like, that is just so interesting, because marriages are like businesses.
It is a business.
Yes.
I mean, but you got to realize too, like what works for Sincere might not work for me.
Right.
I'm not per se a structured type dude. Like I'm not gonna sit at a table every day with my wife and talk about a mission statement. No disrespect. It's just not who I am. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's what he does, but go ahead.
I'm not saying he did. But I'm using examples.
Right.
In a relationship, you got to be willing to find out what works for that person. And I feel like in this world nowadays, nobody wants to. I should say nobody. Let me be careful. Most people want for themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like I can flick on social media right now and go down my feed. You go hear at least 5 or 6 women talk about, well, a man gonna do me like this, a man. But see, if you're looking for perfection as a woman, I don't want you, because I'm not gonna try to seek perfection for you, because nobody's perfect. You see what I'm saying? I don't want a perfect relationship. If we got a perfect relationship, I get bored quick.
So you aren't toxic.
Everybody toxic.
So you want to argue.
If I think arguments are healthy. You ever see, listen, you ever see a couple that don't ever argue? They
Mm.
boring. Like they boring. Like I'm so serious. Like a couple that don't argue, they boring. And like they sit in the room and they drink tea and crumpets and they just watch TV all day. Like that's boring. You know what I'm saying? But and I don't never know. Like you know what I'm saying? I see that's like I don't want to be a Bill Cosby. Like it's like every little thing I can just say, get a Jello pudding pop. No. But if you okay, look, if you got a perfect guy, let's say in a perfect relationship right now,
Mm-hmm.
what do you have to build with him? Nothing.
What do you mean?
If you got the perfect guy, you're not building anything because you know everything he's going to do. You know the outcome of everything. You have to build. You have to know the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So if you're not willing to go through that, you're not going to have a healthy relationship. You're going to have a picture perfect relationship. And usually what happens with that, one party, man or woman, really not as happy as they say they are. They giving more than they're getting, and they're okay with that. And then usually to keep that image of a perfect relationship, they dealing with some stuff they're really not equipped to deal with. Next thing you know, crash and burn.
Okay. So you like a little crazy. That's basically what you're trying to say.
I think we all crazy. I'm gonna keep giving my same disclaimer. We all crazy. Not alone. I'm not alone. We all crazy.
Okay. So in the comments it says Soul Breed says a lot of men have never been loved is something that needs to be talked about. And then Mr. Auto Spa ATL says men are looked at for what they can produce, so we focus on becoming a machine.
Mm-hmm.
And Soul Breed says, no, they're healed, sir, not boring. A disagreement is cool, but an argument should be the goal. The argument should be the goal to keep a relationship normal. Should not be the goal to keep relationships normal.
I did say that. I'm not saying look for an argument, but you got to know how to argue, right? Because at the end of the day, you're a female, I'm a man. I like football, beer, and cigars. You like ponytails, sparkly. I'm giving a generalization. Okay. But my point is, we have to get okay with being polar opposites. You can't expect me to be feminine. Like growing up, I didn't go double dutch with girls. I didn't go play in the playground with girls. I played football, basketball. I got dirty, and I drank the water from the side of the house. That's what I did.
Right.
Right? I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not going to change it. I don't want to paint my fingernails. I don't want to put a dress on, and I'm okay with that. If I get canceled, cancel me. But I'm a man. And I feel like being a man in 2026 is like so foreign to people. They're like, you mean to tell me you're not in touch with your emotions? Maybe, but that's not what I was raised to do. I was raised to survive. You want a man that provides and protects and is provision, right? You walking through the jungle, right? You walking through the jungle. There are animals that are willing to really eat you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're in the jungle. There's a such thing as a Caucasian man that has been out for us for a long time.
Right.
Okay. You want me to walk through and worry about how I feel about this, or do you want me to protect you from that?
Right.
Pick a side or pick a struggle. You want me to be in touch with your emotions, or do you want me to deal with what's really going on in this world right now? I'm not going to do both because then you ever heard of the quote, responsibility with no authority equals slavery?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be a slave to you, sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody. There's a real enemy out here. You understand? We under attack. A young black man just got killed on a trip. Well, he was, unalived on a trip with some others, right? There's a lot of different scenarios we can name. It's happening right now. Do I focus on that and how to protect my family from that? Or do I worry about how you feel about something?
Okay. So when I look at things, because I talk for a living, you know what I'm saying? I tend to want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I may talk about it a couple of times. And sometimes it's just, I just want you to listen. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll say, hey, okay, I need a solution, right? Then I need you to come. But I understand too that there's a time and a place for certain things. So right now, I may be feeling some type of way, but you're protecting me right now. I'm not going to be like, "Hey, do you know, you didn't put your shoes up this morning." I'm not going to say that. Right now, right now I know that we are in a bad situation and I need to follow. Do you see what I'm saying? I need to follow. But then also I need to sit there and I need to be self-aware and say, is it really that important to tell him that he didn't put his shoes up? You see what I'm saying?
Or is it
So
worth the mention?
that's what I just said.
But what I'm saying is that right now, literally, right, like right now,
Hmm.
today's society,
Hmm.
I don't think people understand what it is to be a black man, right?
Hmm.
I really have to 24/7 think about my next best move.
Right.
There is no time for that. If it's not like detrimental, meaning like I literally did something that you saw and it was detrimental to your health or well-being, please, I just need the decompression. And I think a lot of men think that but won't say it. Like, for instance, if you go to work, right?
Hmm.
Just say you go to work, you have a 9 to 5, I got a 9 to 5. We both together, we end up getting evicted.
Hmm.
Nobody's gonna come and say, Dre, what happened? What did she do? What did Toya do?
Hmm.
First thing gonna say is, how did y'all get evicted? What did Dre do?
Hmm.
That's on my mind
Hmm.
consistently
Hmm.
every day. So I don't have time to think about how something made you feel. And I feel like in 2026, that's shunned upon. They're like, no, you need to be present, have $1 million, be 6 feet with a six pack. you like, you like, and what do I get in return? You just gonna keep asking more questions and telling me how you feel? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that not to downgrade it, but it's like a real man has real things going on, and I have to really consider what's going on, and 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 not to say dismiss your feelings, but pick and choose your battles. I was always told that you got to pick and choose battles.
Right. But you have to have self-awareness to know how to pick and choose
Absolutely, absolutely.
battles.
Men
You
too,
see what I'm
though.
saying? And
Men
so
too.
right. And so I'm gonna go ahead and say these things. Uh he says, Soulful said, I think you should adjust the statement. I think we are speaking about disagreements, not arguments.
I
Right.
agree.
Right.
I agree.
And he says, both how you feel and how you protect go hand. Mm, all right. Keep calling. What's up, Alex? Go ahead and speak your thoughts.
What's going on? You can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
So, man, I got a lot to say.
And you got the space to speak.
So, I'm watching the show, and I hear what my guy is saying, but at the same time, it's like number one, I think that there's so much deviation from the original topic. Um,
Might be.
but at the same time, um, I would say, I would also say that he's speaking to the emotional or not really thinking about the female feels because he needs to the priority may be to provide or whatever the case may be, and to an extent I get where he's coming from, but at the same time it's like as a man, I'm a black man in 2026 as well. I understand it's hard out here for us as black men. I think that we do have to think a certain type of way and move a certain type of way. But I also believe that when it comes to us as men and being emotionally intelligent, um, part of protecting our mate is not just about protecting her from harm and evil and danger. It's like for a man to say, I don't have time to think about how you feel, you've just made her vulnerable to be exposed or attacked emotionally. So it's like, as a man, we're supposed to be protecting our mate on every standpoint, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, relationally, financially, all those different areas. So if I'm not thinking about how you feel on a certain level, then that means that I'm not protecting you on a certain level. And that's just kind of my take on it. You know what I'm saying? And I think to the point of the topic about toxic moms, I think that if you grow up with a toxic mom, then a lot of what he's saying is the fruit of that. Because with a toxic mom, you don't get a chance to actually wear your feelings. And so when you grow up, you kind of grow up in a place to where feelings are secondary. They don't get considered like that. So you can grow up in a place, and I'm not saying that this is his story, but I'm just speaking from my own personal experience dealing with a toxic mom. So you can grow up and you can be in a place to where, because your feelings didn't get considered for a certain amount of years, then you find yourself in a position where not considering somebody else's seems normal.
Yes, sir. No, I agree with you 1,000%. But what I think what we're missing is, I'm not saying I'm not considering it. I never said I don't consider it. I said right now might not be the time.
Fine. Right.
I never said I don't consider it. But if you're, again, I was very clear. If you're talking to me about something, how I made you feel in a cafe last week, but I got $15,000 worth of bills sitting on this table. I mean, logic over emotions, right? I'm not going to pay attention to that. This is more important because of how she feel can change tomorrow.
Right.
The bill's not going to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bills got to get taken care of. So let me take care of this and then we'll get back to it. So the toxic part, let's get back, like you said, to the topic.
Well,
Okay.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I feel like because there were questions that were asked is why the topic went that way.
Absolutely.
But on top of that, we can even apply this certain situation to that toxic mother
Absolutely.
because she could mostly might have experienced what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Which causes her to be a certain way with her children.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like when we talk about certain topics, we have to make sure that we cover everything about it, because I know somebody right now that her husband don't listen to her at all, and guess what she does? She takes it out on the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it all stems from not being heard. Like you said, there's not a space of being heard. So yeah, like you also can't just not let her speak, because she's going to affect the children as well. So you have to have an ear to understand.
Equally, I think it's equally important. I understand what he's explaining what he's one, but I think that both are equally important. The bills are important, but so is how she feels. If I'm gonna go a little step farther and say, if I'm honest, how she feels is priority to the bill. Because I
Everybody's
know
different.
as a man, I'm gonna take care of that. We're gonna make that get handled. At the end of the day, I need to make sure that you're okay first and foremost. And so I'm never going to make a bill take priority over how my mate feels. Now that's just me personally.
Yeah.
Everybody think different, so I'm not trying to make him me. But I'm just saying, I'm just giving my folks in.
I respect.
Mhm.
No, that's
And this is a platform for you to speak
absolutely,
freely
and that's how I
and
feel
talk
like
about whatever you want to talk about.
everybody different. Like back to what I said earlier. That's why I wouldn't say you want a perfect relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because a woman who might want a man that prioritizes her feelings, over a bill. Some women want you to take care of that business and get back to me later. I know my feelings is gonna change. I know it might not be what I think it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she, like I said, you saw some of the people I deal with, and some of them married, good wives, and they know. Like my grandmother, like, I mean, come on, having 16 kids,
hmm
It's like, stuff like that I wasn't raised around that where somebody like, oh, I feel like this. It's kind of like, we'll look at you funny. Like, what?
Right.
Not to
That's
say
also
that,
the way
not
that you're
right
raised
the way
too.
that you raised, absolutely.
Yeah, he's getting that when he said he made a point. He said grandma was 16. All right, so let's say our grandma had 16 kids, and our mom was one of those, was an active. Then what usually happen is, like you said, grandma ain't got time. Well, usually they've been wired. Hey, listen, this is how I show you I love you. I'm gonna cook for you. I'm gonna keep a shelter over your head, and I'm gonna keep the lights on. You know I love you. So child usually doesn't have living a 16 child home. Like child doesn't really have a chance to really come to the mama and say, feel like this, and that mother is going to sit down with that child and really speak to that child and allow that child to be emotionally vulnerable. Number one, because grandma and them didn't come from that, and number two, they had so many kids.
Well, that's my dad's side.
Just
That's my dad. My mom's side had 7. It was 7 on this.
yeah, different, yes, the same type of situation. So it's like, if now let's go past that. So now my mom or your mom has been raised in that type of environment where they didn't get that emotional uh open door. Then now when you want to be emotional or express your feelings, the door closed.
Question:
And it's
Do you do you
you
do
know what I'm
that
saying?
same?
Because that's normal.
Are you giving that same research to your father? What if he was raised like that?
Right, that makes it well.
No, 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 no. Not a double whammy. Scratch mama. Did you take that much time and dig into why your father may have done some of the things that he's done? That's what I'm getting at.
So for me, like, can't speak no. So for me, I definitely did
Okay.
for several reasons. Number one, I did it because I needed to be in a place where I knew how to where I needed to extend grace and I needed to investigate why my dad did what he did. And so when I did that, I started realizing like, okay, what shit that you gave me weren't okay. I see why you did it. And a lot of it was just hand me down pain.
Uh-huh. Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
For the record,
Yeah.
I recently started talking to my father more than I did my entire life, probably the last 4 months. So that was
To hear the other side of the picture.
yes. But and to be honest, what was revealed is he really is kind of what I thought he was.
hmm
But I wanted to see it for myself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I heard
Mm-hmm.
so much about, like I said in the beginning of the show, back to the topic again is, if we say dad did XYZ, yeah, he just ain't that. He this. But mama's like, don't you say that about your mama. And in my particular situation, me and my mom have a very I masked a lot of it my entire life. And I love my mom. Don't get it twisted. Like I love my mother, but we have some deep, dark trauma.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? That
Mm-hmm.
just, people wouldn't believe if they heard my side, but because it's my mother, they like, don't you say that about your mama. It's like,
Right.
cool, I'll just be quiet. You know what I'm saying? You figure it out. And if you take her side, now I'm gonna give you the same energy that, I want to give her, but I can't because she's my mama. Now you go get it.
Yeah. But you hear something especially even with this whole toxic mothers is that, like you said, hey, toxic relationship. My mom, I love my mom, but some things that are deep and dark. And I think you said you made a valid point. There's been such a reverence for mothers and such love when it comes to dads that it's like, okay, yeah, daddy could do that and you could talk about him. But when it comes to mama, nah, you got a whole level of honor with your mom.
Mhm.
Think that what it's created and what it's taught us to do is to honor for mothers, but to not be honest about what they did.
Absolutely.
And that's and so yeah, man. But I pray that, man, that whatever man, that whatever you know that you have with your mom, man, that is mended. That over time, man, you work through that, because I can honestly tell you, I've saw God in the last probably 3 months heal my relationship with both of my parents miraculously. And so that's my prayer for you, is like that whatever you need and expect and are looking for, that is healed. Because at the end of the day, we can a toxic mom or a toxic dad. At the end of the day, we're really chasing, especially as men, we're chasing our healing.
I
You know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
that. And I
Yes, sir.
just to sorry, I know you moving.
No, I'm, I'm the
No,
producer and everything, and
I
I'm
got
listening
you.
to both of y'all.
No, I appreciate that, but I feel like at this point in my life, maybe it's a phase, maybe it's another chapter, but I don't think I'm seeking nothing from neither one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I saw what I saw growing up at 15 when I really was going through life. Like, we ain't even touched on the topic we talked about yesterday.
Mhm.
Like, I really
Mhm.
went through some stuff, you know what I'm saying? And going through what I went through and making it, I look at it, everything I survived in life made me more independent, meaning like it made me care less if I had mom or dad there. I'm just being honest. Like, when I got through
Yeah,
the things I
situations I
told
told you about. Yeah,
I didn't even touch on the rest of it. The
right.
stuff I went through, once I get through it, it's like, okay, well, if I did this since 15, we talking 30 years later now.
Right.
What we doing?
Right.
Why do I need to research this now at this point? Why do I need to fix this, Pops? Why do I need to fix this, Mom? Why? I did it. You wasn't there. What do I need? I don't need the answers to that. I got my answers.
Mm-hmm.
My answers is you chose not to do it. Right? For whatever reason it was. That's not my concern. That's your concern with your maker. All I could do is do better. It was an old parable that said I'd rather heal a wounded child than fix a broken adult. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather focus on my daughter. Whatever my mom and dad going through at their age, and they have 40 plus years to do that with me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, no beef, but what I look like going back to figure that out, taking away time, back to time, right? I gotta heal things with my daughter. That's my priority now. With raised, I'm in my 40s. I'm raised already.
I thought she was 32.
I'm 32.
33.
You're right.
Not
I forgot
33.
on paper.
33. Thank you, Alex.
Alex, shut up.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate the prayer too, brother. Alex, I appreciate the prayer, brother.
Yes, sir, man.
Thank
Yes, sir, man. Y'all hold it down, man.
Absolutely.
We'll be on the show next. Let's get it.
Yes, yes, yes. You haven't. I wasn't there for his show. I was sick. I was so sick for his show. But Lord Hill, we gotta talk about the healing. I gotta talk to you about that because
Let's
yeah,
make it happen.
yes, I gotta tell. It's an amazing story. But thank you, Alex. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, man. All right, take care.
Right. Well. You had a touchy. This is the most phone calls I've forgot. Yeah.
Somebody go fire. No, I'm just messing with you.
Okay, so because I know we can probably talk for days, but it's time for our thoughtful questions.
Thoughtful questions. Come on.
You ready? What is one emotion you struggle to express and why?
Sadness.
Why is that?
Oh, I don't know how.
That's why.
I don't know how. Don't know how. Like, because when you get used to loss,
Hmm.
it's no longer a sad feeling.
So what feeling replaces the sad?
Happy.
So
And it ain't even like it used to be a mask, but now it's like, you know,
So so like if your homie died, you don't get
I'm
sad.
so glad you said that, right? So I've been in Georgia back in Georgia since '06, I think it was '05, '06. I probably buried 47 people. I think it was 48 the last time I counted,
Hmm.
right? So
You're
I
numb to it.
remember I done got numb to it. And it's not to say that I don't feel the loss. Like I just lost two cousins within like 2 years, close cousins too.
In Detroit.
Yep. Well, yeah, both were in Detroit. Yep. And I didn't go to either one of their funerals. And it wasn't that I didn't care. Some people took it like that. They're like, you don't care. Like, no, it's not that I don't care. It's just that I've been to enough funerals to know the process. You know what I mean? And people mourn different. Like me sitting around a bunch of family that I don't talk to regularly and acting like this is gonna change everything. That just doesn't work for me.
Hmm.
You know, if it makes you feel good, I personally I don't want to do nothing fake. Like if we already not cool, I don't want to act like, oh well, they died now. Life is too short. Well, if life was that short, you should have called me before they died, or you had the opportunity to call me, or we could have talked it out. For whatever reason, it didn't work out that way. I'm still forgiving. It's just I don't feel that that's the opportunity to do so. So sadness is one of the feelings that I struggle to and defeat.
Mm.
Like when if I feel like if I'm defeated by something, it's like I can't let it happen.
Has your relationship with your mother affected how you communicate with women today?
Absolutely, absolutely, in a good and bad way. Some
Mm.
things I pay attention to, others I'm probably need some work in.
Do you find yourself attracted to women who have traits similar to your mother or even the
I
negative ones?
I used to, and I think after my daughter was born, I I'm more aware of it.
Hmm.
And no, I don't like it. No,
What's something men need to stop lying to themselves about?
you can't fix a woman's problem. And every man is like they got this Superman complex where it's like, oh baby, I got money, I can fix it, or I'm big, I can fix it. It'll be another problem tomorrow. And not saying that you can't assist her, but don't think that you're really doing that. Because a lot of men think that because they got money, they can fix all her problems, and that's not realistic. It's not
Right.
just money
Right. What are you chasing that might be costing you more than it's giving you?
though. Peace.
And how did you come to that realization?
Because when I stopped chasing it, it came to me. Every time I was trying to meditate 3 times a day, burn sage around the house, all these things. In reality, it's just a mindset. When I stopped chasing it, it fell in my lap. And I think a lot of times we as humans, um, we look outward to fix things, you know. You look to a job, you look to a woman, you look to a man, you look to some people liquor, some people drugs. You look to certain things like, I need this escape. But like for me, like I can sit in the house and just turn my phone off for a day. You know,
Be straight.
I'm straight. I might be ready to take on 10 more people problems the next day. But that day, if I say I'm not gonna go to work this day and I'm gonna turn my phone off, you go call me. My phone probably not gonna get answered. I think most people need to do that. Stop chasing peace, man. It's right there in front of you. When you go on vacation and you sit on that beach, you do know that's just another part of the world.
Right.
You're the same. You're the same person. You're the same person. You just don't see the same people in a different environment. Just chill out, bro. That's what I want to tell everybody. Stop chasing it.
Okay. What boundaries do you think men should have?
Knowing what you are worth, knowing your worth, and not letting nobody push it. Letting them know. I feel like you got let me give you an example to help you understand. It's like if you know that you're comfortable working a 9 to 5 job, right? And you're comfortable doing what you do, don't let a scene on Love and Hip Hop make you want to go become a rapper. You know, if you're a great electrician, be a great electrician and become a millionaire. But stop letting society dictate who you are. Men, are you saying black men or men in general? Because
You can do both. It doesn't matter.
that's for men, but black men really need to find themselves. For real.
You get a ding for that.
I don't want to do that clocking thing, but I think it.
That's my signature thing. I'll ding
As long
things.
as you didn't do that clocking thing with your fingers.
I do ding. I do the button. I go ding. I do ding. Okay. I got a few more and then we're going to close the show. If you could say one thing to women watching who want to understand men better, what would it be?
Listen to understand, not to respond.
Don't be laughing at my ding. Hey, last
You're
one.
waiting for my card. Ding.
Okay, last one. If a man was listening right now that feels mentally exhausted but doesn't know how to ask for help, what would you tell him?
I'm him. I don't know what to tell him. I'm him.
You don't know how to tell somebody.
No, because I'm usually the one handling everybody's problems. That's a fact.
So if somebody,
I can name on probably one hand how many people I could genuinely call without no judgment, no nothing, and really get help. Real talk. And I might even say not even the full hand. So to ask me that, I would be like, pray, meditate. 'Cause I don't know what to tell you.
okay, that's
We
real.
talked about this too, the therapy thing in the work.
Okay, a lot been going on, so I just want to give shouts out to the sponsor. This podcast is sponsored by Patriot Soul, a faith-based company that would like to remind you of Mark 22:37-29, to love God Almighty with all your heart, soul, and mind, and to love thy neighbors as thyself. Please visit patriotstole.com. And because of that, Patriot Stole wants to say, welcome to the family. You are officially a part of
Oh,
the
they got me gifts?
Logical of Emotions.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, you got my size right, too?
You said extra large, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably get a Gucci shirt. No. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it.
Let our guests know where they can find you. Tell them about your event and
Oh, my event. Okay, so look, every Wednesday, we at the Corner Grill on Marietta Street. It's a black-owned husband and wife business. We got a live band, grown folks. You know, it's no, we gonna say grown folks. It's just grown folks there. Did you have fun?
yes, I did.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Was it grown?
Yes, it was.
Did I lie? Everything was
Everything was copacetic.
food was good.
Food
Drinks
was
was
good.
good.
Well, I didn't eat the food,
You didn't eat the food.
but the drinks was good. The
Are you
company was good.
Company
Yes.
was good. You was
Yeah.
only sitting with me though.
I was sitting with other people, not just you.
You did. You're right.
I was with Zabari. Is it Zabari? And I was with
Cam.
Cam.
Yep.
So yeah.
Shout out to Cam too.
Yes.
That's my girl.
Yes, Dr. Harris.
I
Love
love
you.
Dr. Harris.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want them to follow you on Instagram?
Oh yeah, y'all can follow me. Yeah, okay. It's Lee's_lifestyle.
Right.
I'm selective though. Because I don't be
Your page private?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's-
you
and
can
it's-
select through the like
you
what
know,
you can because you can look at their page before you.
Cause some people don't really want to, like, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be nosy and then talk about me. I don't. My energy is fake. But nah, Lee's underscore lifestyle, man. I'm just a relaxed dude. I'm just a man. That's it.
Right, right. Well, also he is a what? Firearm instructor, right?
Contractor, firearm instructor. More important, let me start over. I'm a father first
Okay.
to a beautiful young princess.
Amen.
Okay. I'm a firearm instructor, contractor, cartoonist. I'll leave the rest out.
Okay. And he's etc. 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 But anyway, I am Toya Victorious. Please follow Logic Over Emotions Pod so that we can get 1,000 followers so that we will go live off of that page other than the Toya B Show. Please visit www.logicoveremotionspod.com. We have merch. We have shirts, hoodies, hats. Get on board.
I never had this many people on the live before in my life. I don't even know how to say something to them.
Oh, well, okay. We'll deal with that.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah.
Sorry.
And let me close this.
I ain't think the people like me. I was like, yo, what's like?
Close it.
Go ahead, show us out, man.
The www.logicoveremotionspod and you can get some of the merch. Like I said, you have shirts, hoodies, shirts, hats, bucket hats, and support your girl. We're out here giving a platform for men to speak freely and women to understand. One thing that I want y'all to do is to know this. Men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than women are. So what I would love you to do is I would love you to go to the nearest man that you love, your son, your husband, your friend, your brother, and ask them if they're okay and let them know that it is okay not to be okay. If you're going through any life crisis or feel like you're suicidal, please text 988 or you can go to logicoveremotionspod.com. There is a big button where you can call and someone will get a hold of you. I do have some resources and some books that you can pick up off of the website. And thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. For those who was hanging out there with me, I'm sorry we were late, but we'll see you next week. All right, right here on Logic Over Emotions Pod. Good night, y'all. Thank you